Welcome to the Merch Minds podcast, where we discuss everything about the Merch by Amazon business and the print-on-demand industry. Here are your hosts, Glen and Yong.
Merch Informer is the #1 research program for Merch by Amazon. You can do niche research by BSRs, keywords, and even by merchant brand names at your fingertips. You can explore historical data to see exactly what strategies the top sellers are using to succeed. Merch Informer was designed to help streamline your research process and help organize your ideas. Head over to merchinformer.com for a free 3-day trial, and after that, it's just $19.99 per month. Use the coupon code MERCHMINDS for 15% off the entire order.
Welcome, everyone, to the Merch Minds podcast, episode 71. As you can tell, Glen is not here. So my good friend Chris Avalos and I were taking over his channel and the podcast. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, man. Super busy on this side of the globe for sure, man. Yeah, I'm definitely not Glen, everyone. For those that think like Glen had some kind of facelift or some kind of thing going on, I'm not Glen.
He's not Glen. No, Glen is actually he's out of town. He's at the reselling meetup out in Kansas. So he's out of town. But we normally record the podcast on Fridays. And obviously today is Friday. And I was like, you know what? I need a co-host. Like, let me call up my good friend Chris. And he's like, dude, I'm game. So welcome to the show, man. How you been? I know we met in December and we talked a lot of stuff, and everything's good.
Yeah, that's fun. Just a really busy. See, like for some people that don't know, like I do this part-time and I have a full-time job and I have an art career and I have like a family and kids and driving and soccer games. And so it's really hard for me to kind of do the merch stuff full-time, but I just been super busy, man. And first off, I want to say, I really appreciate you reaching out to help you co-host today. I really appreciate it. You do an amazing job with the community, man.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, no, I mean, we met. See, you know what? Like, you're like the one person that I have a lot in common with, because we kind of have almost the same background, right? Like, we both have a full-time job. I mean, other than me having a family, like everything's just almost identical, right? Like, you do a little eBay, you do a little merch, you do a little Etsy, and so I can definitely relate. Chris lives in California. He's in the Southern California.
Yep.
But he cannot, because I hear people all the time, well, if you're doing so good on merch, why don't you just do it full time? Well, Chris, you can relate. California is a very expensive state.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that today, and I live in Burbank, California, which is kind of like the mecca of media. And I kind of work. I work on TV shows and movies and stuff like that for a living. So I know, like in this area, it is super expensive to live. And I was just thinking about that today. I could probably have like a 5-bedroom house if I lived in, I don't know, Kentucky or Kansas or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I met a guy who's an engineer out here in the Bay Area on Facebook for Facebook, but and he gets paid a Facebook engineer salary. I mean he's probably making like, I don't know, 150,000-200,000 a year, but he lives in freaking Idaho, and he said his mortgage out there is like less than $1,000 a month.
Man, yeah.
And so he's working remotely, but he's making that Bay Area salary, and I was like, dude, that is an awesome life hack right there. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to convince my boss to let me work remotely. It's not working out too good right now.
Could you, for what you do, could you work remotely?
Technically, I can, and I've dropped hints to my boss a couple of times. We actually even had a conversation about it at once. She was kind of on the edge. She was like, I don't know, right? And then she said if I did something like that, then I would have to come into the office at least twice a month or something. And I'm cool with that, man. But I don't know. I'm still working on her, man. I'm still trying to convince her to let me work remotely. But hey, let's talk merch. This is the Merch Minds podcast, and we talk everything merch, everything print on demand. As far as news and stuff, there's really isn't that much going on this week. I mean, we had that notice come out last night. Was it last night? Or was it yesterday? Or was it?
Yeah, I think it was a couple days ago. The contract
a couple days
policy.
ago.
Yeah.
I thought that was already there. No.
I think. You know what? I don't know. I know that the message showed up, but maybe I don't remember if the video was there, if that was a new video, or I think
No,
the video is new.
the video is new, and for those of you guys that don't know, if you haven't logged into your merch account, log in now. There's a short video that basically explains their terms of services as far as what trademarks is concerned, like what's allowed and what's not. But then there was the one about was it human tragedy? I can't
Oh,
remember.
human tragedy. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I guess violence and stuff like
yeah.
that.
I could have swore that was always there. It was 2.6, section 2.6. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's not much really going on in the merch world, print on demand. But we're gonna start to show off. I'm gonna share my numbers. And you can share your numbers too if you want. It's not necessary. Glenn and I, we just like to share our numbers with the listeners. So I'm on the 2,000 tier, and I have 1,372 shirts live. Okay, in the last 7 days, I sold 188 shirts. That number is probably going to go up, obviously, because right now it's 11 o'clock in the morning. So by tonight, that number will be well over 200. Product purchases, $3,965.04. And my estimated royalty for the week is $943.54. So all those numbers are going to go up by tonight. Chris, how are you doing? And again, you can share what you want. You know, it's not mandatory.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no. By the way, those are really great numbers, man. You should be very proud. Those are some top tier numbers, bro. For sure.
I'm trying to double those numbers. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean scaling. That's what everyone wants. That's the ideal thing, is to scale for sure. I sold 151 units last month. I haven't did any of my this month units, but
those are my last 7 days.
Oh, yeah, dude, those are, like I said, those are super. I could actually say just what I did in the last 7 days, which wasn't much. 29 units sold in the last 7 days. Just under $100 for royalties, you know, just slow and steady. I'm at tier 1,000 with 500 live products, and just getting those 50 uploads a day sometimes is really, really hard to do. And, you know, I've figured out life hacks to get around that, but you know, but yeah, so last month I sold 151 units, which is down from, you know, December and November. December and November was hot. I don't know for you, but you know, the whole algorithm thing really just messed everything up as far as numbers.
Yeah, no, December was, you know, so for about a week, I was throttled just like everyone else. And then for some reason, the Amazon merch gods said unthrottle him. And so like I was one of the few that was unthrottled, and my sales, except for that 1 week, really took off. January was good. February was good. And then this month, March is starting out to be really good, only because of St. Patty's Day. And I'm a little worried right now, because I'm like, man, what's gonna happen after St. Patty's Day? Because it's like right now, like half of all the shirts that I'm selling are probably related to St. Patty's Day. So I'm a little concerned. I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen once St. Patty's Day is over? Or, my sales gonna tank? We'll see. I mean, I can't remember what happened last year. I mean, I guess I can go back and look at those numbers, but I haven't. Have you made any St. Patty's Day shirts?
I have a few of them, but I haven't sold any of them, and so I don't have like a huge amount. I think I have maybe 6 or 7, which is like nothing. But I was thinking last night, as a thought, like St. Patty's Day is a t-shirt holiday, because literally all the kids, and you remember when you were at school, if you weren't wearing green, you'd get pinched and stuff like that. So St. Patty's Day is literally like a shirt holiday. Like all the other holidays, Easter and all that, sure, there's Easter shirts and things like that, but when you really think about it, St. Patty's Day is one of those days or one of those holidays that is just geared towards merch.
Well, you bring up a good point. So from my experience, it seems like the only holidays that do really well on merch are the holidays where you drink, right? St. Patty's Day, 4th of July. I mean, what are some of the other ones?
Cinco de Mayo.
All those drinking holidays tend to do really good on merch. So there's a nugget for you listeners. But yeah, so I'm a little worried right now. I mean, Cinco de Mayo is coming up, so I definitely have to pump out some Cinco de Mayo shirts. But let's see. So, how long you been doing merch now?
I would say for I said over a year. I had an account early on and I uploaded like a couple things from my Patreon account because that's just what I did when I first got into merch. And I didn't really take it seriously, but I didn't take it seriously till maybe last year around the same time when I started to hook up with Margaret and Jeff and all the merch and Joe
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
merch talk heads. And
yeah.
they're the ones that are responsible for this mess that I'm in now.
Oh, that's funny. How's Margaret doing these days as far as her account? Do you know?
She's doing good. There's lots of up and downs. What's funny is it's kind of like we are our own little mastermind group, so we can kind of bounce stuff off each other and things like that. And it's really nice because some months someone's doing like incredible, and then the next month someone's doing like crappy. So it's like it's a roller coaster. And you've done merch long enough to know that it's a roller coaster every month. But Margaret's doing well. She's had some low months just like we've all had and has highs. But what's nice about Margaret, and I give her a lot of credit to this, is she's tough. She's a tough cookie. She's not going to lay down. She's not going to take crap from anyone. If there's a problem with her account, she's going to do everything she can to generate sales, to think of outside of the box. And I definitely respect her tremendously.
Yeah, no, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I did catch one video where she mentioned that her sales have dropped, so she's thinking about getting back into eBay a little more. But yeah, no, I mean, you know what? A lot of people, for those of you that are just getting into merch, for those of you that think that this is easy, like Chris said, it's a roller coaster. You have to have a lot of patience. You just have to figure out what's working and really expand on that. And if you don't do that, this might not be for you, right?
It's a grind, man, and I
it
hate
really
the word.
is.
I hate the word passive income because people throw that around a lot.
Again, man. See, this is why you and I are eye to eye, man. Because we talked about this back in December when we met, man. It's like everyone's on this whole passive income thing, and I'm just like, this it's not hard labor, but people keep dropping that term. I keep seeing it pop up every now and then. Oh, I'm making passive income on merch. No, you're not, man. But anyways, we that's a whole nother topic. Glenn and I kind of talked about this a few
Right.
episodes ago, and but yeah. So you got into merch. Are you doing all your own designs?
Oh yeah. The thing is, what got me really into merch, because I used to design punk rock t-shirts for my friends' bands when I was in high school, and I used to do like album covers and things like that. So when I first started to see about merch, I was like, man, I'm all over this because I love to kind of design, and I have some Photoshop backgrounds because I used to design websites like back in the day and stuff like that when it was all HTML code and all the crazy code. So I have a background in I'm not a graphic artist by any stretch of the imagination, but I know how to use Photoshop. So the natural transition into merch and designing was easy for me, like a glove. I slipped right in.
So I mean, what's some of your strategy? Are you doing like current events, anything that's any hot topics, or are you just pretty much going with all evergreen?
Well, that's a great question, man. And I would say 90% of my shirts are evergreen. I'm into cryptocurrency and I'm into stuff like that. So I got into all that niche really early, which has benefited me tremendously. I kind of do a lot of the things that I'm into, a lot of the hobbies that I'm into. My game plan is not to chase trends because I think that's what everyone's doing. And you've known me long enough to know that I'm not your normal mercher. I'm like the anti-mercher, I guess I would say. So I kind of think outside the box. I definitely pride myself in thinking different than the crowd, because there's literally people that just follow everyone's kind of like, oh, everyone's AMS this week, let's do AMS. You know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of just enjoy, to answer your question simply, is I kind of just do stuff that I like, and it's worked out for me. But I do reach out and look at trends, and I try to latch onto some trends, but I don't do it too often.
Okay. So now then, how about holidays? I mean, you said you obviously did like 6 St. Patty's Day shirts. Are you doing a lot of the major holidays?
No. And I think, I think like you could see like maybe why my sales aren't that great. Cause like,
I was going to say, dude, you should really start pursuing it because you're leaving a lot of money on the table, I think.
Right. So like, but the thing is, like, I've had so many opportunities to create holiday shirts, themed shirts, trending shirts, and they just never caught on. So I think like I'm just doing what works for me. you know, and so far, like, I'll just throw some holiday shirts out there just to do them, but it's not something that's catching on. But you're right, you know, like it's
Right.
something that I should definitely look into more
Right.
for sure.
No, I mean that's cool because you definitely, you're definitely a rebel within the merch community in the sense that you're not chasing trends, you're not doing holidays. But you know what? That's your own strategy. You're happy with how merch is working for you as of now.
Exactly.
And that's all that really matters, right?
Right. I
No-
mean, right now I'm treating it as a hobby pretty much. And as
mhm.
soon as it doesn't, as soon as it feels like a grind or a job is when I get turned off by things like this.
So 1,000 here, remind me, that's 80, 60 uploads per day?
50 uploads a day.
Oh, I'm sorry, 50.
Right
So
now, they could change that tomorrow, you know?
right, it's been changing pretty consistently the last couple of months. Are you are you filling up those 50 slots every day?
Oh no, not even
Yeah,
close.
it's impossible.
I figured out a strategy to kind of like do the 5 uploads
Hmm.
for one design, and I've been starting to do that the last couple months. So if I have a design, that's 5 uploads automatically right there. So I would say I try to at least put one design up a day because you want to keep that algorithm flowing. And I have a tinfoil hat about this. This is gonna sound great. This is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound absolutely nuts to everyone out there. But when I don't have a sale over a certain amount of time, like a few hours or whatever, I'll go and edit a listing or something crazy like that, and then I will get a sale right afterwards. It is the weirdest thing. So I
See,
do,
I'm laughing because I think that's all coincidence. But
of course,
hey,
but it works. Like, and I'm just saying, I'm just saying stuff like, oh, there's no sales. I'm gonna tweak a couple listings and you know, and take that opportunity to kind of, you know, fix your bullet points or your titles or whatever. But that those little weird things work, dude. And I don't know what
that's
it is.
funny. That's funny. No, I am for so first of all, just to kind of clarify what Chris was saying, when he said he uploads 5 designs for one, 5 t-shirts for one design, you're uploading it to a standard shirt, a premium t-shirt, a long sleeve sweatshirt, and hoodie. That's what
Exactly.
Chris means. But what's funny is like I don't like I probably on average probably upload about 20 designs per day.
That's a lot.
That number's kind of going up. It's a lot considering that I'm a one-man operation like you.
Yep.
But I just started outsourcing some designs with a design agency called Penji. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No,
Yeah. So check out my little dog right here, man.
I know it's cool. I saw a cat too.
No, it was him.
Oh, there's no cat there?
No, dude, I'm highly allergic to cats, dude. I'll be dead right now.
Dude, my wife and my kids are really allergic to cats too.
I was never allergic to cats, and then as I gotten older, I just become highly allergic. It's not that I don't like him; I'm allergic. Um, but I was saying, I started outsourcing some of my designs, some of the more complicated designs,
Yeah.
to a design agency, and so that should help. And oh, speaking of that, last week's episode, apparently there were some issues. Um, I don't know if it's an editing issue or um, just an issue on the server end. That's something I need to go over with Glen. The last week's issue, a lot of people were complaining. They were saying that 20 minutes into the episode, it would just cut off. So if you're listening to this and you haven't heard last week's episode yet, you're gonna have to go watch it on Glen's channel until we get that resolved. But anyways, so I was saying, yeah. I started outsourcing some of my designs, and it's helping as far as trying to fill up my designs. And it's been pretty good. It's been working out, man. I'm paying a premium price. I'm paying $350 a month for this service, but you know what?
Oh, so it's a monthly service. And how
It's
does
a
it work?
monthly service.
You get like 10 designs, 20 designs. What does that work out to?
So this is something that I was saying last week. So I can't compare their service to the other services, right? Because I've never used the other services.
Right.
But based on my own experience, so I pay them $350 a month. I just give them ideas of what I want, and they'll have like 2 or 3 designers, work on concepts. They'll send it back, and I either approve them or have them redo it.
Right.
And they guarantee that most designs they'll have a concept for me within 48 hours. Most designs, again, depending on how complicated it is. And it's been working out pretty good. I'm just trying to get used to the fact that not everyone's artwork is similar to mine. So I need to be accepting of different styles of design. Um, and then I also need to just get used to, I'm paying for their service. So I need to get used to having them make their edits, because I like sometimes I'll get like a concept back and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna hit approve and then I'll just make the edits myself. I need to stop doing that, because like I said, I'm paying them for a service.
Right.
So you know what, I just got to get used to them just doing everything. But yeah, pretty good. So my numbers are as far as uploads, they're slowly starting to increase, and because I was having a hard time uh, uh, filling up my slots.
Yeah, it's impossible. Like literally, when you get to your level, you have to literally have extra work, extra people to do those uploads. Because when you really think about it, it takes so much time just to like make a concept and then create it in Photoshop or Illustrator and then upload it and do all the bullet points. It's nuts.
Yeah, yeah. So what's gonna happen with you then once you get to the higher tiers, like the 2, 4, 8,000 tier, man? Are you still gonna do just a one man show?
I mean, I've been looking into scaling, and here's some of the crazy things in my life. Like, I know a lot of artists, right? Because I live in Burbank, we're the media city, and I've been lucky enough to kind of befriend artists from Disney and stuff like that. And I actually know a few artists from Disney that actually make their shirts for Disney. So I thought, like, I'm gonna eventually start going to them to actually make like this is like the highest quality artist you can really
Sure.
think of. And so that's like my game plan for the next step. And I've talked a little bit to these guys with them. We haven't thrown around prices, but I can guarantee their prices are probably going to be like $150 per design, because it's literally going to be top of the line designs from like professionals. So you're going to pay for what you're going to get out. But that's just my next step. But I haven't looked into like the Fiverr kind of like area where,
Oh, don't do it, man.
you know what I'm saying?
That's just my opinion. Don't do it.
Right. But what I'm saying is like, I think, that might be the next step, not Fiverr, but like looking for someone that can do them for, a relatively good price. And trust me, I've tried the Fiverr thing, and I've seen some of the designs these people make, and it's garbage. Like you were kind of hinting to, like you just have to find the right person. And luckily for the people that like RJ, I think RJ has really good artists that are working for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what I said. I mean, it's just from my experience, and like everything that I've seen on sites like Fiverr and Upwork, like they're just, in my opinion, poor quality. And it's just, yeah, at times, like you said, there's a diamond in the rough. They do really good work. They're original. They're honest about everything. But from what I've seen, I've just, they're not good stuff. And this is something that I talked about on the show is, if you guys want some really good quality work, I've said this freaking probably 1,000 times, and I don't think anyone's done it yet. Reach out to your local university that has a design program, right? Hire these students at what, $10 a pop, and they'll do good original work, because they're trying to, number one, make money, and number two, build up their portfolio. They're not going to charge you an arm and a leg. And then once they graduate, that's fine. You know what? There's a new set of students that came into the program, and it's a whole recycling game.
That's a good tip, man.
Right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just don't get it, man. People, they don't want to spend money, and I get it. Like, Glenn and I, we talked about this so many times. Some people, they're just not in the position to spend that kind of money. But then, there are people that are, but for some reason, they just don't want to invest in it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in your shoes and I had the money, I would have been talking to Disney guys already. Like I would have been having Disney quality stuff out already.
So when you say Disney, obviously they're not going to do like Mickey Mouse, but
oh yeah, no.
it'll obviously be that kind of quality of work.
Yeah, it'll be like whatever niche that I want to do. Yeah, but what I'm saying is like the crazy part about them, and I have other friends that are in the. See, I'm an artist too on the side, and I'm lucky to have a network of different digital artists that work for Funko, that work for like all these different companies. So it's like whatever kind of style that I want to go for, I can pick and choose, but the price is going to be crazy because these are professionals. And the Disney guys, that's what they literally do for a living, is they do shirts for Disney store. Like they do clothing. So it's like, it's crazy.
Did they talk about the partnership that they have with Amazon by any chance?
No, these guys are literally just artists. They just are told what to create and they
Okay,
make it.
they have no behind
Yeah,
the scenes.
Disney is so tree structured, it's nuts. Like it's almost like compartmentalized where like someone doesn't know what the other person's doing, and it's crazy. Disney's a beast of a system, dude.
Oh yeah, no, that's a money making. I mean, just Pixar alone, the Pixar branch alone, just generates
I'll,
tons of money. What is
I'll
this?
tell I'll tell you this, like whoever is in charge of the Disney Amazon thing, I can guarantee they're their own department in itself.
Okay.
Just people working with Amazon and doing designs. And dude, here's what's crazy, and this is gonna blow your freaking mind. Disney literally has thousands of designs that they've created over the years in databases, and they can literally just pick stuff out of these databases all day long because they've already been pre-approved for Disney.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
So like they have it, like a company like Disney, it's a no-brainer for them to get into merch and POD and all that kind of stuff because they have the vault, they have the stuff.
Yeah, I mean they probably have hundreds of designers working for them, right?
Yeah,
Artists
I mean, yeah, I would say across the world there's probably 100, but I know like it's literally like a dozen guys that are in Pasadena right now doing stuff for Disney Store.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So how's and I know you just recently got into Etsy and Printful and
Yeah.
you mentioned that. How's that working out for you, man?
Really, really good. Like I think Etsy is one of the things, Etsy Printful is one of the things I really want to focus more of my time on than merch. I love merch and I will be doing merch, but I'm seeing like the profit margin for Printful is amazing.
Oh, it's so much higher, right?
It's so much higher. And what I'm saying is Etsy and Printful, it's its own beast. You have to learn how to do the SEO for Etsy, which is constantly changing. Your demographics different for Etsy. There's what's so great about, like, I'm a micromanager. I always love like simulation games. When I was a kid, I used to play those like Sim City and I used to like, be micromanaging everything. And that's what I love about Etsy and Printful is I jump into another thing like a Redbubble or whatever. And I spend weeks of research saying, okay, what is my demographic? What are people buying? And I really hunker down, and you're saying like, God, all these different things are different. It's not like one cookie cutter thing is going to work for every one of these PODs. No, man, like you got to learn Etsy customers, Redbubble customers, all these kind of things. So yeah, man, I've been loving it.
No, I agree, and there's a reason why. I mean, I just mentioned earlier in the show that I have close to 1,400 designs on merch right now. But there's a good reason why I didn't cross-post everything into my Etsy store because, like Chris was saying, it's a different demographic. I mean, there's more women on Etsy,
Yeah.
and I think, I mean, in my opinion, I think the whole Etsy market it's more vintage, more kind of like a boutique feel, right?
Yeah.
Like Amazon to me is like an online version of Target, right? You just go on Amazon for anything that's convenient, right? You'll find everything there. And then Etsy is more like the boutique, more of that one of a kind product, kind of like eBay, but kind of more higher end, right?
Right. People are looking for gifts and birthday presents and
right.
stuff like that.
So there's a good reason why, like Chris said, like I don't cross post all my designs onto Etsy. Like I pick and choose particular ones that I think will work best on Etsy, and it's worked out pretty good. How many designs do you have so far on Etsy?
I would, you know what? I don't know. I think I have I think I have like around maybe 120 listings.
Okay.
And I don't do the coffee mug and the friggin' tote bag and for all that. I usually just do the t-shirts first. And then if I see something that's selling, I'll do a coffee mug or something like that. I start slow and then I add to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I have like about 100 and something listings, and I sell maybe like 1 or 2 things a day on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably averaging somewhere around 400 to 500. I have 400 products live, and I probably average anywhere between $400 to $500 additional on just the Etsy Printful integration. So that's an additional card payment, man. That's a nice card payment.
Exactly, man.
That's a Mercedes Benz. So it's like that's why I tell everyone, man. Look, if you haven't jumped on the whole Etsy Printful integration. Do it now. It's free. I think if you sign up through Margaret, don't they get like 40 free listings as well?
Yeah, Margaret has a link, 40 free listings, and
I'll,
it's
I'll
20
find that link.
cents. It's
Mhm.
20 cents to just list an item on Etsy, which
Right.
is really kind of nothing when you think about it.
Yeah. But I mean, there are other fees and whatnot, but it's
Oh yeah.
nothing. It's nothing compared to what eBay charges. Um, and it's the cost of doing business. I remember someone. I remember when the whole Etsy Printful integration first came out. Somebody was complaining about that 20 cents. I'm like, yo, man, if that 20 cents is too much for you, man, this probably isn't the business model for you.
No.
You probably have to go do something else, man. But people, I don't know, man. People just feel like, like eBay and Amazon and Etsy, like they're a nonprofit organization or something. I'm like, dude, they're in the market just to make money, just like we are, man. They gotta charge fees.
Yep. Absolutely. I will say this one thing with dealing with Printful as far as customer service on their end. They are absolutely amazing. The Printful company
They are.
with customer service. Like, oh my God, I had a problem with a onesie. I emailed them in 2 minutes. I kid you not, 2 minutes. Someone emailed me back, wanted to see a picture, which the customer provided, luckily.
Mhm.
And then after I sent it, two minutes after that, we're sending her another one free of
That's
charge.
awesome.
So I'm
That's
just like,
awesome.
wow, this is incredible customer service.
And they expedited the whole process because I had something similar happen to me back in December, where a lady ordered a couple of shirts from me, and somehow Printful got one of the orders wrong, and they sent them a completely different shirt. It wasn't even one of my designs. They're like, "Yo, what the hell is this?"
Hopefully it
Um,
wasn't too like bad or anything. Like, what
no, it
the heck
wasn't
is
that.
this?
No, it was I mean, my shirt happened to be about cryptocurrency, and what
Ah!
I know, huh? And one of the shirts that they received was about like a dog or something. And so the like 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 your
It was
customer.
Doge. Was it Dogecoin?
No, it was nothing
That's
to
so
do with
funny.
crypto, man. It was like something about, oh, I love
Yeah.
my dog or something like that. But just like your customer, they took a picture, they messaged me, they're like, this is the shirt that I received. I messaged Printful. I'm like, yo, this is they got this shirt. It's not even my shirt. Um, yeah, and they took responsibility and they expedited the whole process. Shirt was shipped out within a day or two, and that customer left me a positive feedback saying, you know, there was an issue, but the seller really took care of me. A+ service, quality product. So absolutely no. So definitely sign up for that if you guys haven't. I had one issue with the customer service when I was doing the chat with them, and I kind of felt like I was like the grammar was so bad. I thought I was chatting with someone from India. I don't know. Do
Yeah.
you know?
No, I mean, if there was grammar issues, it was probably outsourced for sure.
Right, but that was just that one time. Ever since then, everything's been. I mean, I haven't had to use customer service too much. But one time, I mean, the grammar was so bad, like I had no I couldn't comprehend what they were trying to tell me. I'm like, yo, man. I'm like, okay, whatever.
The company I work for right now, they just started to outsource some of the jobs that we did to India, and they've already like failed a bunch of stuff too. I'm just like, maybe Printful tried it out. They're like, we're gonna outsource the customer service stuff, and maybe it didn't work out, and they switched it over. But yeah, that could happen for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
But
wanted to actually, I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, dude.
I wanted to say one thing about Etsy that helped me a lot, and it's not going to be like everyone's going to have this situation. Is I had an Etsy shop since 2008, and I sold
Mhm.
a pretty good amount of like kind of handmade things. So I had like a 500 and something reputation, all 5 stars to start my Printful, and I totally took out all the stuff, revamped my whole store just for shirts. And I think that's helped a lot with my sales as people see like, oh, this guy's a reputable seller, he's got good feedback and everything. And so I definitely highly suggest people that are going to get into Etsy to do your research, because Etsy is its own beast in itself. And just customer service is a big major thing for Etsy, and you kind of want to be personable with your customers. Don't just treat them as a number, treat them as persons, and you'll
Right.
see the repeat customers for just being a normal seller, and just say, oh, how's your shirt, is it good? You like the quality? Here's a 25% off coupon for your next sale. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different ways to be good to your customers on Etsy, and it brings them back time and time again.
Sure. And here's a golden nugget for you guys that's listening. Okay, this is probably like one of the best advice that anyone could give you about Etsy. If you're doing your own designs, obviously, if you're outsourcing your design, you don't have the capability of doing this. But if you're doing your own design, because I get these messages all the time, and I don't know about you, Chris. Oh, can you change the font to black, or can you change the font to white? Vice versa, or something like that. If you can do it, because that is a guaranteed sale. I promise you.
Yeah, I've had that. My thing is, and I sorry to interrupt. My whole thing is, I get a lot of people saying, "Could you change the color?" Because the color is not available for what they want. That's I get those a lot.
Yeah, but if you can optimize your design to for and just make it for the customer's request, guaranteed sale. I haven't had one. Well, I take that back. I had one person ask me if I can make a custom shirt with a similar design, which I did. This idiot never came and he never made a purchase. So I just but other than that, every time I make changes, they always buy it and they always leave good feedback.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those where they were like, "Oh, could you change the color?" And you change the color, and you never hear back from them. But for the most part, you're right. I've had those where I've done some custom orders, and I actually put that in my description in my about me. Is if there's something you see and you want a different color, you want a custom shirt made for your church group, school group, please contact me. You want to leave that little extra thing in there so that you could generate additional sales on the back end, possibly.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's man, I mean, the whole Etsy Printful, I mean, do you understand the whole VAT?
Kind of. I know that it's like, it's just basically, is it the value added tax for UK or something like that?
It's so damn confusing. I just stopped shipping
It's like
overseas.
20. Yeah, I do that. I just pay the 20% and then just put it in my ledger. Like I do the 20% one where they take out 20% and then I put that in my records for my taxes.
Okay, no, because like someone sent me a video and it kind of explained what it is, but then they were saying in the video, it was saying that you need to calculate like the distance from where it's being shipped to the destination. And I'm like, I don't have time for all that, man. I'm like, you know what?
I think it's a lot easier than that. I think really there's like literally a 20% tax on your thing. And then that's how I've kind of learned about it. But yeah, who knows?
I just, I was just so confused by it. Because I would say 95% of my sales on Etsy anyway are just, are US sales.
Right.
So it's not like I'm losing a lot. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not even going to sell overseas. It's just
honestly, my tip is to look into that because I would say like 25% of my sales are international sales.
Really? Yours is that much, huh?
That much, dude. So like look into that and think about turning that back on. Because if you're doing $500 a month US, that could be like $700 a month. And it's just like literally the VAT is like 20% of a tax off of whatever. And you just gotta.
So what would you do? So you would just charge a 20% more?
Well, what's nice about Printful is they let you slide on a couple sales. I don't know if you ever saw that.
They did, yeah.
Okay, so they let you know, like, hey, yo, you're going to be selling the UK, you're going to have to charge tax, and then it's automatic after that. So I don't know if it was something that I toggled in the system, but they take that 20% out in the sale, and then it's just recorded later. Like it's on the back end. I have to do paperwork for that.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm just,
yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to mess with it, man.
I am not a tax expert, and to be honest, like I get tax questions all the time, and I know some tax stuff, but I am not a CPA. We are not tax advisors. So if you want to look into that, everyone that's watching, go contact a CPA, go do your research yourself.
Yeah, it's just that's a whole nother beast. But how about are you doing any other pods?
I started Redbubble last month, and I'm seeing like some occasional sales. I had 2 shirt sales last month, and I sell stickers more than anything. For anyone out there, here's a pro tip. Here's a nugget for you. Not little girl, but like teenagers, girls, stickers. That's all I'm gonna say, dude. Like they love their laptop stickers, and Redbubble is like the mecca of cutesy stickers. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, here's the thing, I'm so damn lazy. I know stickers sell a lot on Redbubble, but I haven't optimized my designs because you have to upload. I don't know if you know this or not, but you have to upload you have to optimize your design to make it into a sticker sometimes.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you and I hate to interrupt, but I make my designs specifically for the sticker. And then
I got you.
And then everything else
I got you.
goes into that.
Maybe I should start doing it that way. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, start to learn how to create borders
Right.
in Illustrator, and then that's basically so you can take. Okay, so let me back up a little bit. Take your design from Amazon. Your what is it, 54 by whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in Photoshop, pull it in Illustrator, put a border around it. It can be an invisible border. Stamp that, transparent out the background with a little bit of the border, and then there you go. There's your sticker, and you can use that file on Redbubble to create your sticker, to create your to create your clocks, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't doing Redbubble yet, what Chris basically for the stickers, like Chris was saying, it needs a white border, and if your design doesn't have a white border, it's just kind of hard to explain. But your sticker is just not going to look good. It needs that white border.
Right, because what's going to happen is so there's like all these different sizes for stickers, right? So what's nice about using your Amazon files is it's so large that you can make these like 8x10 stickers, but without the border, they're going to be like, if you have, like, let's say you have a font that says life, so like all the LIF are going to be separate stickers when it gets bigger. Unless you do the border, then it's going to be one huge sticker.
It'll be separate, or if it's connected, there's going to be holes in certain letters.
Exactly.
I hope that really makes sense. It's just it's really hard to explain.
Anyway, from Redbubble, we'll take care of it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, design is such a visual topic, and I know Glenn and we try and approach this podcast from a design angle, but it's such a visual topic. It's like sometimes I feel like some people just don't understand what we're talking about, and it's just obviously better to show than to try and talk about it. Yeah, so you're on Instagram. I saw that you did make your first sale on was it Redbubble, I think?
Yeah, I think it might have been
I think or was it Etsy? I can't remember, but I think I left you a comment saying congrats.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't utilize Instagram like I should, but it all comes down to time. I don't have the time to be posting on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, but it's a good leverage to kind of get awareness for your stuff.
Facebook's my thing, but I just recently got into Instagram like this past December. I'm just trying to utilize social media a little more for my shirts and whatnot. Have you tried, because I know Jeff's doing this. Have you tried the Amazon Printful integration?
No, what I before that even was a thing, I used to just take my own barcodes and create my own listings before that, and I never had success with that. But I haven't tried the new integration thing.
Okay, so I uploaded a couple of designs on using the whole Amazon Printful integration, and I had a couple of sales, no complaints. So I guess that's a good thing. But it's just it's such a long process. Like, it's just something that I'm not really focusing on right now, but I was just wondering if you have done anything. How's Jeff doing with it?
I think he sold a few things. To me, here's the thing. Like, I think it's kind of crazy to do it because it feels like you're double dipping because you're still competing for those Amazon sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still competing for the Amazon sales.
See, here's the thing though. It's like, through the Amazon Printful integration though, it's like I can now put up designs that I normally couldn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I got you.
Through Merch by Amazon.
I got you.
So, for instance, like if I had, I don't know, like a dilly dilly shirt, right? I mean, my understanding.
It's the gray area stuff that you
right. From my understanding, you can't put that on through Merch by Amazon. So now I'm going to put it through, to the Amazon Printful. So that's what I've been doing. I sold a couple of designs, sold a couple of shirts. I just haven't uploaded any more designs because it takes like about a half a day for the damn thing to go through.
Right.
And then I just forget about it, and I'm busy doing my own thing, doing designs or I'm at the day job, whatnot. So, yeah. So I was just wondering if you had any success, if you're even doing it. It sounds like you're not, though. You think you'll pursue it at some point, though?
No. I would rather kind of work on my Printful Etsy thing and Redbubble than try to do something else. Because here's the thing, for the longest time, Jeff, Margaret, Joe, they were like, you got to get on Redbubble, you got to get on Teespring, you got to get on all these things. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure out merch by Amazon first. I'm not going to be one of those dudes that are like a frogger jumping around the streets and everything for, oh, what's going to work today? No, I'm like I said, I'm a micromanager. I love to so let me get merch by Amazon working first, and then I'm going to get into this. So now I'm getting into Printful, and now I'm getting into Redbubble. You know, it's just one little step for me. And I definitely, let me back up. And I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I've been drinking Monster.
That's all good.
Show. But let me back it up a little bit. Thank God that I started with merch by Amazon first, and I'm going to explain it to everyone out there. And if anyone's out there that wants to start this print on demand journey, start with merch by Amazon first. And I'm going to explain it to you right now. Merch by Amazon has so high standards about copyrights, about dimensions and all this stuff. You're learning to be professional right from the get-go. Etsy, you can literally throw anything you want pretty much on there. You can just like put any size you want, but you learn kind of like, it's like being in the military and going into boot camp when you start with merch by Amazon first. You learn what's acceptable. You learn what's cool. You learn to walk that line. Sometimes we go a little bit outside of the line. Sometimes we go on this side of the line, but you learn how to correctly upload stuff. So what I'm saying is it's good that I started with that, because then I know how to properly do things for Redbubble. I know how to properly do things for Etsy, where I'm not going to get a copyright infringement or something like that. You know, like it's just, that's what I'm saying. So for anyone that's starting out, definitely learn the ropes first, and don't jump around, because you're going to lose yourself. Focus on one thing, move to the next thing, or at least that's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, and there's tons of resources out there now, right? I mean, you know, merch is a couple of years old now. There's a lot of videos, there's a lot of Facebook groups. I highly encourage everyone to watch other videos. You know, watch Chris's videos, Thrift Shop Hustler on YouTube. There's a lot of content out there, so absolutely, you guys can learn a lot. But yeah, so it's Amazon is really the standard when it comes to print on demand. They're not the first, but they're definitely, look, Amazon, they just don't like getting sued. That's why they're so freaking strict. Dude, Glen got suspended, and he doesn't even know why. To this day, we have no idea. And he's really, really positive. He's 100% positive. It has nothing to do with his designs.
Right. But you guys theorize that it was because of like logging into the different IPs and
IP addresses.
Accounts. Yeah.
And some people say that's ridiculous because, you know, everyone else is doing it. But it says in the terms of services that you're not supposed to have other people log in. So I don't know how other people are doing it. They're getting away with it. I get it. But and that's something that I told you in December when we talked. That's something that I would never do. I would never give a stranger access to my freaking account.
Right. I hear you. I'm the same way. I mean, I'm with, because like the thing is, I've been into crypto since 2013, and the security, all that kind of stuff I learned about internet security and all these kind of things, and it got me literally paranoid about everything. So when I heard Glen's story, and I'm trying to put the pieces together in my mind like you guys are, and that automatically stuck out to me in an instant that, you know, they were logging into different accounts on the same IP, which to me would have been the flag for me.
Because he was managing that second account for his friend, and then and ever since he told me that he had gotten suspended, I was managing 2 other accounts. I was like, you know what, I'm not touching those accounts no more, because I'm not going to jeopardize their accounts, and I'm not going to obviously jeopardize my own account. But yeah, but I mean, Amazon's really strict about a lot of things,
and I understand why. And I apologize again for interrupting.
No, that's fine, dude.
It's the monster man. Let's get into me. No, so what I'm saying is Amazon wants to set a precedent. They don't want, because like everything, every company, every kind of POD, any kind of thing to make money, people like countries like China are having like farms of like hundreds of people like cranking out different things. So I think Amazon for the most part is trying to keep that farm mentality out of the business, because there's like 90 million shirts already on Amazon. They don't want 180 million shirts on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to police that hard so that the whole system doesn't cave in on itself, because that will happen if they allow 10 IPs or 10 accounts on one IP. You're just going to have people that are going to abuse the system. So
yeah, and like I said, I should at some point I should get the other guys back on the show, the ones that hire VAs to do their uploads, and just pick their brain and figure out what they're doing, because they haven't been dinged yet, right?
ask them if they'd use VPNs. You know what a VPN is?
Yeah, I use a VPN myself.
Ask them that, because if they're doing that, there you go. That's why they're not getting scooped up yet.
But even the VPN is not 100%. So I'm just really curious. But no, I you know what? That's a good question though. I bet you they are probably using a VPN for their VAs. But yeah, I mean, man. But yeah, that freaks me out, because it hit close to home. And I don't know if you heard that episode.
I did.
I freaked out more than Glenn, because that's always been my biggest fear. That's always been my biggest fear, dude.
Right.
And so when he got suspended, man, I think I called like Glenn like 8 times that night. And I know he was getting frustrated. He was like, dude, man, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, but did you do this and did you do that? And he's like, yo, man. He's like, we'll talk about it tomorrow. And now I was just freaked out, dude. I just went into panic mode. And but yeah, man. I mean, speaking of that, the trademark thing, like, dude, I don't know if you heard last week's episode. Last week's episode was cut off, so it must have been the one before that. Cafe Press, dude. I created an account for Cafe Press.
That's old school too, bro.
Dude, yeah, they're like one of the OGs, right?
Yeah.
They freaking rejected one of my designs, saying that it was a trademark. I was in violation of trademark. And I looked at my design. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what are they talking about? I even showed Glenn. He goes, dude. He goes, I don't see anything wrong with the design.
Right.
And so I'm just like, man, forget Cafe Press, man. No one even shops on Cafe Press.
Oh man,
I could care less. But I thought it was kind of funny, because I had that same design on Amazon, and that's what I'm more concerned about, right?
Right.
If Amazon came back and said, this is in violation of trademark, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to remove it. But Cafe, first, like I said, first of all, it was an original design. It was a premium font that I purchased, and like I said, I mean, I can even show you after the show. You'd be like, what the hell were they talking about?
Yeah, it's not even worth it, man, if it's Cafe Press. I mean,
I was just like, man, who the hell even shops on Cafe Press, man? Seriously, if any of the listeners or viewers, if you guys shop on Cafe Press, let us know. I'd be really curious as to who even shops on there. I know some people do sell on there, but if you actually shop on there, let us know. I'm really.
Yeah, I would rather spend my time working on building up my Printful account than Cafe Press or anything like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, what are your goals for this year, man? I mean, I know the year's still young. I mean, we're in mid-March right now.
This is gonna sound so bad, but I don't have any goals.
Really?
I'm just going with the flow, dude. Like like I said, man, I'm the anti-mercher, dude. Like I don't have any goals. I just want to wake up in the morning. Okay, I'll make some designs today. If I have the time. I don't know. I guess I want to scale a little bit for sure. And maybe like look into those artists doing some shirts by the end of the year. There's my goal. I'm going to talk to my Disney friends and see if I can actually lock down a design from them this year.
Okay. But I mean, no goals for not even Etsy and Printful?
No, man, I'm just scaling. Like my goal is scaling, and there's really no like, oh my God, I got to try to get this many. Okay, here's a goal. Actually, you know what? I lied. I do have a goal actually.
I knew it.
I want to at least make my Printful sales equal to my Merch by Amazon sales. Okay. If that makes any sense. I want to equalize that. And I'm not there yet. So that's one of my goals actually. So I actually do have a goal. I'm trying to build up my Printful account for sure.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good goal, man. So hey, that was a quick hour, huh? I mean, I think we still have a few minutes, but go ahead and give yourself a plug.
I am Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. I'm also on DTube for anyone that's not looking. I'm at Reseller, and definitely look at that. Are you on Steemit, man, yet?
Dude, I am on Steemit, but then I got, like I said, I'm just trying to juggle so many projects. I haven't even logged in like 3 months.
It's hard. Well, I'm glad that. What's your name? Do you remember what your name was there?
I can't remember, dude. You know what? I'll message you. I'll log in. I don't even know my damn login password or nothing.
Yeah, I hope you save that, because if that's gone, your account is gone, man. I hate to say it.
Are you serious? I can't recover the password
unless you have the original password. You cannot Did you change the password when you got the new account?
Not that I know of.
Okay, if you have the original password somewhere saved, then you're good. But if you don't have the original password and you lost it, your account's gone, man. I'm sorry to say that.
That sucks. Whatever.
That happened to Reezy too, man. Reezy like got a Steam account and lost his password and didn't realize. Because everyone, people think it's like Facebook. You just send them your email and they'll give you a new password.
Can't you just create a new account?
You could, yeah. You could create a new account.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine there.
All right. But Thrift Shop Hustler, what the hell is DTube?
DTube's a decentralized YouTube. It's pretty much like a new YouTube where, there's no politics because, have you seen the whole thing about YouTube now? They're demonetizing everyone. They're kicking like right wing people and kind of conspiracy theorist people off. DTube's like, it's built on the Steam blockchain, which is part of Steemit. And you can basically upload your videos there and earn a pretty good income from people upvoting your videos if they like them. So it's a whole different business model. So if you're not on DTube, you're a content creator, might talk to Glen, ask him, if he's looked into DTube. It's just another revenue stream for sure.
Dude, Glen, I'm sure Glen will take a look at it, man. He's a freaking YouTube celebrity, man. He's a rock star, man. He's a rock star. He does meetups, maybe kissing babies, and I'm just...
See, I'm such an introvert, and we talked about this during the meetup, man. I am not that dude, man. I mean, I'm personable. If I see you, we can have a conversation. I'm sort of like a normal dude, but like I do not like to go to those situations and like forcibly just go and do a meetup and all that. I can't, man.
When are we gonna get you out next time, huh? I mean, first of all, thanks for coming out in December. I think that was a whole lot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a good night, man.
Yeah, I mean, are you gonna come out next time I go down there?
Yeah, we'll work something out. Just let me know. Like I said, my life is the scheduling thing is nuts in itself. But yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah, well, I think there's gonna be a meetup in Southern California. What did they say? Early April. So I'll keep you posted on that if that happens. And I told them if they do, that I will go down and obviously visit my parents and then attend the meetup. So you should definitely come out for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
So Thrift Shop Hustler on YouTube. You're also on the weekly merch talk with Margaret.
Yep.
What days?
It's normally Wednesdays, but everyone's schedules have been crazy, so we've been doing Thursdays. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. It's a mess. Okay. We have fun. It's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, dude. We all have our different personalities, and it just meshes well. It's pretty great.
Right. And then you're on Facebook, obviously.
On Facebook, but anything I would just say for people that want to follow my stuff is to definitely follow me on YouTube.
On YouTube. Cool. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions or anything about crypto or just merch in general, Etsy, go to YouTube, Thrift Shop Hustler. Hey, man, that's been a fun hour.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, man, it was fun. Trust me, man, I prefer talking to you over Glen any day.
No.
Nah, I'm just... You
gotta cut that one out. You gotta cut that out, right?
No, man. Look, man.
Hey, him and Hustlebee, man. Those two are like 2 peas in a pod now, man. Those are the shoe hustlers.
I know, man. I thought I was the freaking first Asian duo with Glen. He went and got himself another Asian, and now they're making monthly trips to freaking different cities and stuff. That's stupid, man. That's just dumb. You know what? Well, you and I should do something similar.
There you go. Well, honestly, like if Glen can't make it, I'm game for any time you need an extra hand, man, for sure.
Yeah, no, man. We both love Glen. Me, I just do a lot of trash talking. But thanks again, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
All right, man. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching or listening.